How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Dayvy live stream for the very exciting game week 36 plus. A lot of talking points to go over tonight, especially the free hit. Everyone's been hitting me up on Twitter asking me, should I use my free hit? Can I please do a free hit draft? So that's what we'll be doing tonight. We'll be covering a free hit draft for you guys. We'll be making it live on the stream for those of you who are using the chip. We will be talking about Game Week 36 free hit versus Game Week 38 free hit and all that jazz to cover it. Also be talking about my specific team here. As you can see, I have not made the transfer yet. I still have to do it. If you haven't watched the team selection video, go put a view on it so we can get some views for that. It's been quite a hectic day. I didn't have internet this afternoon, went out and had to buy a new router, got a new router, set it up, and now we're good to go. So that's why this live stream has become available. So thanks to those of you who have been a little bit patient with me confirming whether there was going to be a stream. I saw there was a couple of donations, a couple of super chats, so please just mention if you did donate. I think I've caught one here from Young Thug, my boy, saying, shout out Kay Williams, will you marry me please? So if you're watching this, a marriage proposal in the chat. It's a £2 donation, so you can see Young Thug likes to splash the cash there. So he looks like he's going to be a good partner there. So I think that's Kai Williams. Will you please marry Young Thug? So thanks again for the donation there. To start off the stream, we're going to be talking about the free hit Game Week 36 versus Game Week 38, because I think that's quite a big talking point to go by. So you guys know me. I still have my free hit. I'm kind of a pro Game Week 38 kind of player for the free hit. Just personally, I think it's going to be more fun to use in that kind of final game week when there's going to be all the teams starting at the same time. Could maybe get some early team news if you guys are into that kind of thing. I do see, I think we got a new member, Harold. Thank you for becoming a member. I don't know if you have been a member before, but I haven't seen your name in the live stream with that member. So thanks a lot for becoming a member. Hopefully you do enjoy the stream. But to get back to the point, Game Week 38 versus Game Week 36. The only reason why I'm not really going for Game Week 36, we don't know exactly the Man City players that are going to be starting. Probably going to be the same in Game Week 38. But I just think we have a little bit more time to kind of assess the situation there. We do have Chelsea assets that we don't own. So I think if you don't own Chelsea assets, that could be maybe a factor in your free hitting Game Week 38 or Game Week 36. So I think that could be a call. I just don't really think that I'm going to be using my free hit. I think I like this team as it is. I've seen a lot of free hitters that don't have the likes of the Liverpool assets, which is a talking point we'll be going over with the whole captaincy debate. They don't own the popular players, the Fernandezes, the Salahs. So I think if you guys are needing differentials and needing to go up those ranks, I think the free hit could be an option for you. Whereas with me, I'm kind of looking to hold my rank, assess the situation. Maybe in that final game week, we can see if we need to go for some of those differentials. So we got time on our hands. But if you don't have time and you need to catch up those mini leagues, I do think the free hit could be worth it in this situation. And that's exactly how we're going to be going over a free hit draft. In terms of my own team here, thanks, Corin, right there for that little interruption there with a £5 donation saying, Peace Dayvy, worth a -4 to transfer out Aurier, no backup. If yes, who for? I've got 5.3 to spend. Hope the exams went well. So the exams did go well. I am done now. Finished on Saturday. So thanks for all those good wishes that you guys gave me. I haven't got the marks yet, so we won't talk too soon about the results. But thanks a lot, Corin, for that £5 donation. So with Aurier, obviously you guys know the devastating news that his brother was shot. I believe it was in France yesterday. So I don't think he's going to be starting. It's going to be a debate whether he does start or doesn't. In the team selection video, I spoke about those situations with these pro athletes where sometimes the best thing for them is just to get out on the field, kind of pay tribute to their loved ones, and they usually end up doing quite well. So I think with Aurier, though, there's no pressure on him to start from Spurs. So if he needs to take a break, I think he will. My situation is the same situation that Corin is talking about there, or not really, but I think he's either going to start or not play at all, which is why he's in my starting lineup. But for Corin, if you have no substitutes, I don't know who you have on your bench. Maybe if you really have like maybe a Lascelles or a player that is definitely not going to be playing, then you could look at a -4. At 5.3, there are a couple of players I would look at. Probably the likes of the Wolves assets. They have 2 nice fixtures coming up against Burnley and Crystal Palace. And then if you are free hitting in Game Week 38, you don't have to worry about that Chelsea fixture. So I would probably go for Saiss. Otherwise, 5.3 option, just look who's playing tonight. We should be getting some early team news from that Chelsea versus Norwich lineup. So I think that Reece James is probably cheaper than 5.3. So you could be looking at him, Corin. But there are a couple of options, luckily, in that 5.3 bracket. But definitely, I would probably be looking at whoever starts for Chelsea tonight. And then that's who I would go for. I'm sorry, guys, that caught me up in the chat a little bit, so if I do miss anything, just spam it, and I will get back to you. There is also half an hour to go in the deadline. It's not happening at exactly 8/9 o'clock/7 o'clock, wherever you are on the water. It's actually 1:15, so just keep your eyes on that one. Optimus Prime saying, don't waste your energy constantly thinking about Pep's lineups. None of us know the lineups. Fact, look at the previous data and make your own judgment, then stick with it. Absolutely right there, Optimus. I think that you have to have some Man City players. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have Man City players, but you can't guess the lineup. And as I always say now, in this lockdown season, there's literally no problem with a player coming off the bench. They can simply come off the bench, play against tired legs, and still do well. So you don't have to worry about that. Salah triple captain. Can I play this gamble with a 300 rupee donation? Thanks a lot for that one. And more. So with Salah triple captain, basically, I think this would be a good time to talk about the captaincy. And the reason I'm kind of contemplating, so I still have to do the Jesus move, so please don't think that Vardy is starting. I will be bringing in a Gabriel Jesus for Vardy. I just prefer him as an option for the upcoming game weeks. I think he should be getting some minutes. So in a high-flying Man City side, that's going to be my transfer. But then in terms of captaincy, it's between Jesus and Salah. So right now I'm thinking, I do think Jesus will start, but I think he'll get about 60 minutes and then come off. That seems to be the trend that Pep has been following. So 60 minutes against Bournemouth, though, is plenty enough time to get some good points. But then we have Salah against Arsenal. Could be rotating, and their defense is already a little bit leaky. Liverpool always do well against Arsenal, and Salah always does well, so that could be an option to go for. I've seen hardly anyone go for the Salah captain. That might be the Twitter FPL kind of a little bubble that we're in, but I've even seen teams without Salah in, which makes me even want to captain him more, because of those free hitters that are going to free hit in Game Week 36. They're not going to have Salah in, so that makes him almost a little bit of a differential. But then also look at his ownership, and I think surely he's going to be captained by more than 20% of players this season. So in terms of the Salah triple captain, I do like it. However, I think if you're going to be triple captaining, I would look at one of the Man City options. I think the best captaincy option this week is going to be Sterling. So if you do own him, I probably would captain him. And then also other options like Jesus, or maybe even the likes of Foden, De Bruyne. The rotation is going to come to bite you, but the thing with the triple captain is you always want to kind of go a little bit differential, and I think the Man City asset, no matter which one you captain, they're going to be differential. So I think the captaincy this week is going to be quite split. So to answer your question, Anmol, I think Salah is a good, safe triple captain to go for, but if you need a mega differential, I would look at past Salah and go for the Man City options. I think we're going to start. Okay, so someone says Streamlabs donation. So just give me a second here, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not a great streamer. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the most prepared streamer in the world. So let me just load up my Streamlabs donations, because it is unfair if you guys do donate on that and I don't get your questions. So I am signing in at the moment, and then I'll get to your donation there. So we do have a donation here from Liron. Okay, so we got 2 donations here. Thanks a lot, guys, for them. First one, shall I downgrade Doherty to Stevens for -4 to get Jesus? I can't afford him. Have exactly your team, but Jimenez instead of Vardy and 1.2 short. But I want to take Jesus mandatory. Any other suggestions for a hit instead of Doherty? Who to captain? Jesus, Pulisic, Fernandes. So I think if you're going to downgrade your Doherty, I would look at maybe Bolly, if you can afford him. Otherwise, as I said in the video, there's nothing wrong with either keeping Vardy or going to Danny Ings. So if you really can't afford him, I don't think it's really worth it to tear your entire team up. Just go to Danny Ings, simple downgrade, and that should be quite good. So thanks for that $1 donation. Who to captain, Jesus, Pulisic, or Fernandes? Fernandes for safety, Pulisic and Jesus for a little bit more of a differential. I'm favoring Jesus a little bit, but I think if Pulisic starts tonight, he's definitely a standard option. So I think that that's going to be a tough one to go by, but right off the bat, I'd probably say Jesus and then Pulisic if you want differential. But Fernandes if you need to go safe. I will, if you do donate on Streamlabs, I will refresh it every now and again just to make sure. I think, as I said, let's get to this free draft because I think that's probably what a lot of you guys want to see. So starting off in goal, probably going to have Button there because, I mean, who else do you really want there? You free hitting, you don't need a bench. So this is the interesting kind of talking point. I don't think I would have Trent because I think Arsenal will score in this game. I think I would probably keep hold of Doherty and then Saiz just because he's cheap, probably go on the bench. But then I think the players you kind of have to go for are going to be the Chelsea assets. So we're going to check the lineups tonight. I'm going to put Azpilicueta in here as a placeholder. But if Alonso starts, then I would probably go for him. Then I kind of favor also going for James. So here we saw that previous donation. I think it was Corin. James is 4.9. So if he does start, instead of maybe Alonso, you could look at him. But this is kind of worst case scenario. If James doesn't start and it's Azpilicueta and Alonso, I probably wouldn't stack this much unless you have the cash. So this would probably be my lineup. And then I would just go for a cheapie. So let's just go for Lascelles because I mean, he's not going to play, but he's really cheap, so that doesn't really matter. I think in this case, if you are free hitting, I would go probably without Salah. It's going to be quite a controversial one, but I think that you might as well just do it because of kind of what you need. I would take De Bruyne out, then I would go for the Man City assets. So I think I would bring Sterling in here. I spoke about him being the best, my favorite captaincy option, so if you do own him, I would go for him. And then it's either between David Silva and Foden. So I think I would go for Foden in this case because of just how cheap he is. And basically, I think he's guaranteed to start this game week. But then as you can see, we have plenty of cash to spend. So this is kind of where you have to think about what you want. I think Martial was looking quite good, so I'd probably take, I know it's a little bit risky, but I'd probably take Fernandes out and then look at one of the Chelsea midfielders. So it's all dependent on who you want. I think I favor Willian a little bit because of the penalties, but you could favor someone completely different to him, and that's also fine. And then going into the attack, now this is where we don't almost know who to go for because we have so much money to spend here. I like Greenwood, but I think if you have this much money to spend, you might as well just go for one of the alternative assets. I can't really think of many assets that I particularly like here. I probably would go for someone like Rashford just to cover that Man United attack a little bit. So let's just go for Rashford. Now the thing, as you see with this draft, is I don't really know if I like it too much. It's got a lot of differentials here, such as Willian. Rashford, maybe not too much, but that Man City midfield. Actually, let's take out Mahrez. That's someone that I also didn't want to have in. So instead of Mahrez, let's go for Fernandes again. And then instead of Rashford, we'll go for Jesus. Because I think in terms of kind of my favored options to go for from Man City, this is probably would be how it is. You've got 7 in the bank, so you can kind of go for any keeper you want. I think there's only one keeper kind of in FPL right now that is playing really well, and that's Nick Pope. So you can go for Nick Pope. He just makes a lot of saves. Fixture is not the best in the world, but I think that he still can get some returns from it. So that's kind of who I would go for. So you got 2.3 to spend here, so everyone should be able to afford this. You can obviously change. Maybe instead of Foden, you could go for someone like David Silva. So this is basically the draft that I think you should look at. This is very modular though, so just kind of pick and choose whatever you want. I did see there that there was other donations, so apologies there from the Emerald Pilot. Jimenez to Ings and Mahrez to De Silva or Antonio. I think I would go for Jimenez to Ings is perfect, and then I would go Mahrez to David Silva. I wouldn't go for Antonio. I just favor the Man City lineup a little bit more than the West Ham, especially because David Silva probably going to be playing 2 out of the next 3 starting. Definitely the last game week of the season, so I would probably go for him. And then I think someone also said that I missed their super chat as well. So apologies for that one. Let me just go down here to... Let me go to the Streamlabs. Maybe you donated in Streamlabs, but otherwise I can't see it. Mohammed saying, do you play FIFA? I do play FIFA. I've started playing FIFA since the lockdown started because I needed something to do. So if you guys want FIFA content, I can also bring that to you on Dayvy FIFA FPL YouTube channel. Dave, I have a good feeling that Tia and Doherty will return a lot of points, really. So that's why I kind of also think, and why I'm leaning a little bit more towards not using the free hit, is because I don't think at this stage of the season I need to go for differentials. Whereas, as I said, if you need differentials, I think this week is a good week to go for. Triple captain Foden or Sterling, I would go for Sterling. Sterling 100%. If you own Sterling, I would captain him. He seems to be the best captaincy option this week. Rival is 60 points ahead. We both have Sterling and Pulisic. Should I triple captain Foden? Thanks. So you don't necessarily have to triple captain unless your rival also still has his triple captain. As the triple captain, if Sterling gets 20 points, that's a 20 points boost for you. But in terms of 60 points ahead, that is quite a lot. So I definitely would look at a differential. So I do agree with you about the Foden triple captain. It is quite risky though, so you must just accept that risk. Okay, so Aurier. Should you transfer Aurier out? Okay, so I just soak this wild card draft in. Actually, let me just duplicate the slide and then go to my team. So should you take Aurier out? I think if you have no fires to put out, if you have no other transfers that you need to take place, then I would take Aurier out because I don't think he's going to be starting this week. However, if you have other fires to put out and you have a bench player like Saiz that can simply come on, I don't think it's worth it. We don't know how Aurier is going to be. Maybe next game week or the game week after, he's fine. That's going to be a personal thing for him. So he might come back for the following game weeks up. You might not want to own him against Leicester, but I think against Crystal Palace, that could be still a nice player to have. So I would only transfer out Aurier if you kind of have no other fires to put out. Michael saying, I only have Mahrez and KDB. Is it worth captaining instead of Pulisic, Ings, or Fernandes? So you're probably talking about captaincy to cover the Man City points. I probably wouldn't. I would go for one of Pulisic. I think I would go for Pulisic in this situation. If he starts tonight, I definitely think Pulisic is where it's at. And in terms of Pulisic, Willian, or Jesus, who to triple captain, I think I favor Willian over Pulisic, but then Jesus is also a really good captaincy option. So I think I would probably go on the triple captain on Jesus there, 64. I'm not free hitting, guys, so I just was creating a freer draft because people were asking me a lot on Twitter. So just kind of go back in the stream if you missed it. But I did, okay, actually I did it here. So this is the freer draft I came up with. Very modular, you can kind of switch it around. We will be waiting for early team news. I think a good scenario to be in is if Alonso and Azpilicueta start, and then you can upgrade James. Son out for David Silva, but with a -4 hit. So Spurs this week playing Newcastle, not the worst fixture in the world, especially if Lascelles is out. But I think I do favor that David Silva transfer. It is for a -4 hit, but I think if you're going to captain David Silva, it makes it even better, Max. So I would consider that transfer. I would probably do it anyways, just because I think everyone's jumping on that Man City bandwagon, and I think they're really going to do well. David Silva, Foden, and Jesus for free. It drops Sterling in KDB for the week. So I can understand dropping KDB, but I probably wouldn't drop Sterling. Harold saying, you're free at Pope or my free at De Gea between the sticks or other better options. So that is actually something to consider because of the fact that I don't have triple Man United here. So I would probably actually do that. I would probably favor De Gea over Pope in the scenario if you're not going to triple up on the attack. So Harold, that is quite a good suggestion, to be honest, and I'll definitely be bringing him in, just because I think that in terms of Crystal Palace, they're pretty dreadful going forward now. But Benteke's also got a red card, so that's quite a knock to their attack, I think. Will Sterling play? That's going to be a mystery. Unfortunately, I can't answer that just because of how kind of messy that Man City lineup usually is. In terms of the transfers, we only have 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to go in and confirm this transfer. So we're going to be taking Vardy out. We're going to be bringing Jesus in. I have just enough money to afford him, 0.0, so that's why I messaged or posted a tweet on Twitter about if you guys can't afford him, then make the transfer last night. Mahrez to Willian for -4, top of the mini league, 5 points. So Sim D, if your opponents in your mini league have Willian, then I would consider that transfer. But if they don't, I would just stick with Mahrez. I don't think it's worth taking a -4 when you're the top of the mini league. Savinthi saying, hey bro, I hope all's well with you. Everything's good. Hopefully you as well. Isn't Sterling a big rotation risk considering they have an important FA Cup game against Arsenal? So I think that is a consideration, but I think most of the Man City lineup is kind of a rotation risk. So you kind of just have to choose the players you have and stick with them. So with the whole Sterling scenario, he did have a rest a couple of game weeks ago. So he is in good form. So I think he will get at least 60 minutes this game. So I don't think I would be too worried about Sterling captaincy. I am worried a little bit about the options that I do own. I think I would be more confident on Sterling, but because I don't own him, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Salah. So here, let's make the Vardy to Jesus transfer. I know you guys love a live transfer, so we made that. And look, I managed to format my team to be color coordinated. So we have the blue side, kind of white on the side, and then the red side on the side with the Liverpool assets in the middle. So that's going to be my transfer. Pretty happy with it. And then in terms of captaincy, to be honest, I'm still a little bit 50-50 on Salah versus Jesus, but right now I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Salah. I'm having load shedding during the game, so I'm not even going to be able to watch the Liverpool game. So maybe that's going to be a blessing in disguise. But the Man City game is before, so if Man City assets go and bang, it's going to be quite disappointing. Jimenez to Ings, that's going to be a very popular transfer this week, and I can understand why. And I would definitely be doing that move. So if you can't afford Jesus, I would be looking at Danny Ings this week. He's going to be in great form. Pep has confirmed that Sterling, KDB, Mahrez, Mendy, Laporte will not be starting, so that could be true, but we don't really know. Chelsea tweets seeing Alonso in the tunnel. So Harold, I think that he would be in the tunnel anyways, because he's probably part of the squad. So I wouldn't look too much into that, but that could be something. But I'm just kind of waiting for early team news. I'm pretty sure someone in the chat will mention if we do have early team news, especially from FPL Rockstar. That's usually the source we have for early team news on these live streams, and I think most of the FPL community. Okay, so Rockstar hasn't tweeted yet, so don't worry, boys. Boys and girls, my apologies. Elite FPL Stevo, Dayvy, to help your captain decision is simple. Go Jesus as I'm captaining Salah. I saw in your free hit stream that you're captaining Salah, and I won't lie, it made me a little bit worried. But I think your luck's broken now, Steve, after that Martial return. So I might go Jesus, but I'm still pretty confident on Salah. But thanks for stopping by, Steve. I appreciate it. No worries, Harold. Any news? So Optimus Prime is usually our source for early team news. It kind of tells us if Rockstar tweets and then he posts it in chat. So just keep your eyes on him. Vincent, Dayvy legend, who's the best goalkeeper if I'm free hitting? I would probably go for De Gea. This was my free hit squad that I kind of put together. It's mainly differential. So if you want to go a little bit more safe, maybe take the likes of Salah or someone like that in. But I do think that De Gea is probably the best player to go for. So apparently Rockstar has tweeted. So let's go and uncover the news here. Okay, no, but he's just posted the GIF. He hasn't posted the team news, guys. You must only say when he posts the team news, because okay, has he tweeted apparently? I thought he just posted the GIF. No, he's just posted the GIF. So I'll say when he's tweeted the actual lineup. Delano saying, help me please, serious dilemma. I have a midfield and front line with KDB, Willian, Bruno, Martial, Salah, Vardy, Greenwood and Calvert-Lewin. I can't play them all. Who do I drop? So who do Everton play? I'll probably drop Calvert-Lewin. Greenwood is hard. How many do you have to play? How many do you have to bench? From that, I would probably bench Greenwood and Calvert-Lewin if you need two. But otherwise, if you need just one, just bench Calvert-Lewin. Okay, so FPL hasn't tweeted, he's only tweeted the GIF, so you don't have to worry, but we will be covering the news, so don't worry, just listen to the stream and you'll get it. I don't think I can trust that you captain Salah and advise to captain City players, so that's why I'm just going safe here though, because that's like what I'm going for. So if you want to captain Salah, that's perfectly fine, but I do think if you need a differential, go for the City players. I promise you that there's been times that I've probably said stuff and then other stuff happens. But this is what I'm personally going for. I saw that we had... Okay, so this was a Streamlabs donation there from Amir K. Let me go and check it out. So $5 here. How's it, Davey? Good and you? Trying to maintain my small lead and win my mini league. Who should I captain? Rash, Foden, Jesus, Pulisic, or Salah. Thanks for the content over the years. So what you have to look for, if you are in your mini leagues, this is basically what you must look for. You must look for whoever your opponents are. Look at their team. Check what players they own and what players they don't own, and then just kind of guess who they're going to be captaining. And then you kind of block off that move. So if you're leading, you try and block. But if you are second or third, you try and go differential. That's just how it works. £2 from... Max Winter saying David Silva or Jesus captain. I would probably lean a little bit more towards David Silva because of him starting. I think he's basically guaranteed to start, so I would go for David Silva. But both of them are good options. That really is a 50-50. Okay, so we have here the Chelsea versus Norwich team news. Azpilicueta, Alonso, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Jorginho, Pulisic, Willian, Giroud start, Mount, James, Barkley, Abraham, Hudson-Odoi benched. Cantwell starts, Pookie bench. So if you own... I'm just going to repeat that. Azpilicueta, Alonso, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Jorginho, Pulisic, Willian, Giroud start, Mount, James, Barkley, Abraham, Hudson-Odoi benched. And then Cantwell starts and Pookie bench. So if you own the Norwich assets, take of that what you please. But Azpilicueta and Alonso start. So those are probably like the biggest team news that you're going to receive. If you have them, I would be playing them. And definitely looking at bringing them in if that was part of your plans. So if your plan was to have Alonso or your transfer plan was to get an Alonso, then I think that you should be considering getting him. I think for my team, I can't really fit him in. And I don't think I'm going to be taking a -4 for them. So good luck for you, for those of you who are. If you're free hitting, I think it's a great week to free it as well. And it's also some nice differentials to go for there. Salah and Arnold, price dropping. Are you planning anything for it? So at this stage of the season, price drops and price rises literally mean nothing to me because we have the money we spend, we have the players we want. So price rises and price drops basically mean nothing. Which one of the two would you play? I would play Alonso 100%. If you're talking about Alonso and Azpilicueta, Harold, just maybe comment in chat who you were talking about. Mane or Jesus captain? I think Jesus is more of a differential. I think probably the majority of people are going to be captaining Salah and Mane this week. I think just because of that FPL Twitter bubble we're in, everyone kind of thinks of the Man City assets. Is it safe to captain Mane? I do think so. I think Mane and Salah will both start this week. Against Arsenal, they always seem to do well, but I do think the highest ceiling players are those of the Man City assets. So your Sterlings, your Jesuses, and those kind of players. Shot. Alonso it is. So, yeah, I definitely think Alonso is the best defensive option to go for. Doherty to Alonso or Vardy to Jesus? In terms of those moves, I probably would favor the Doherty to Alonso right now because he was confirmed to start. But the Vardy to Jesus move is not too bad. I just think for my own team, I went for the Vardy to Jesus move because I still like the Wolves assets and I think I'm a little bit too emotionally attached. Play Saiss with Doherty or Greenwood. I would go for Greenwood. Giroud or Ings. Right now, I think I would probably lean a little bit more towards Giroud because he's starting. I think he will come off at 60 minutes though, but I think if you're going to be free hitting, you might and you want to bring in one of Danny Ings or Giroud, I would definitely look at Giroud. Do you think it's good to go captain on Willian? I think it's perfectly fine. As a differential captain, I think that Pulisic and Willian are perfectly fine to go for. As Sol Mares to Willian, I would do that if it's not for a hit. If it's for a hit, Mr. Radu, I wouldn't do that move. As long as it's not a hit. Pulisic versus Willian, so now that Jorginho's starting, I think it takes the Willian appeal off a little bit because of, obviously, Jorginho's on penalties. So that's really a 50-50 to go by. But I still think I favor Willian a little bit because I think he is still on set pieces. Hey, bro, do you think Vardy to Giroud is a good move? I do think it's a good move now, to be honest, since he is starting. I think that maybe that could have been the move to go for. Harold, stoked to become a member. So thank you for becoming a member. Hopefully you do enjoy your stay. It's really nice for the live streams because I kind of see your messages a little bit more easy. De Gea or Pope, asked Joshua. I would go for De Gea. Hi Dave, is it worth a -4 to bring Jesus against Rashford? Please help. I think that Rashford's going to be a nice option to go by this game week against Crystal Palace. I think if it was any other striker, then I would consider, but I don't think it's worth the -4 for that one. Best Man City captaincy option, 100%. I would go for Sterling. Tanashe saying, hi Davey, Captain Salah, KDB or Fernandes? I think it's between Salah and Fernandes for me. It's a real toss-up between Salah and Fernandes, but I'm currently favoring Salah at the moment. I think KDB is a little bit too risky. Nick Diaz, by blocking in your mini league, do you mean copping? So you can call it copping, but I don't really like to use that term because I think it sounds a lot worse than it is. But that's basically what you want to do. You want to copy, inverted commas, the teams below you, because if they own Salah and you own Salah, that's not going to affect you at all because you both own them. So that's basically how to block out players. And that's one way to use your free hit. On the last game week of the season, you can kind of, if you are leading, you can replicate your closest mini league rival's team, and then they can't really overtake you on that final game week. Is it good to use the triple captain now? Yes, it's good to use the triple captain now. You've got 3 game weeks to use it, so I definitely think this is going to be a good game week to use it on. Thanks, Declan. I appreciate it, buddy. 5 minutes left for those teams. I don't really know. The Salah Jesus is a little bit of a toss-up for me. I'm 50-50 on it, to be honest. I really would like to captain Jesus, but I think I would like to know that he's going to 100% start. I still think he's worth the risk, though, to captain if you want to go for him. Have your team except Doherty, have Kiko, Firmino. Who do I bench? So I would probably play Saiss then, and then I would play Aurier, and then just have Kiko, Firmino on the bench, because you probably all come on. Any Chelsea news? The big news is that Azpilicueta and Alonso are starting, as well as Willian, Pulisic, and Giroud. Dude, your captain. So this is going to be my captain this week. I think it's going to be Salah. I'll refresh it to show that it's going to probably be him. I'm just kind of leaning towards him a little bit because of, I think he won't be that much of a differential, but I feel like he's a little bit of a differential. Best free at back 3. Azpilicueta, Alonso, and Doherty. That'll be my back 3. So this is the free hit I came with. I think you just take out, obviously you just take out James now, and then you bring in Alonso. So hopefully you guys can afford this draft. Otherwise, just chop and change. You can also go De Gea to Pope, but I think they're relatively the same price now if I do recall. But this is probably what I would go for. Could also go for Pulisic if you want. Bench KDB or Mane? Caroline, I don't know if I would be benching either of those. I would probably try and start either one of them. Aurier won't start, that's perfectly fine. Then Saiss will just come off the bench. I think the thing with Aurier is he's either going to start or he's not going to play at all. KDB captain, I think the KDB captain is a little bit too risky for me. I don't know if he's going to start. There's been a lot of rumors that he won't. So I think those rumors are enough to maybe not captain him. Hi Davey, I have triple captain and free hit left. When is the best time to use it? I probably would use triple captain this week and then use free hit game week 38. Captaining Willian this week. Hope it works. Hopefully it works for you as well. Antonio, triple captain. Could be. That's a massive differential, but I probably would use my triple captain on one of the Man City assets. Willian versus Jesus, captain. That's a hard one to go by light rays. Willian's definitely going to be playing tonight, so that could be maybe the turning point for you in captaining him. So I would probably go for Willian in that case. I don't know. I'm kind of contemplating the Jesus captain and kind of I've talked myself out of it a little bit, but I want to talk you guys out of it if you really want to go for it. I am 14 points behind in second place in my mini league. Wish me luck. Good luck, Machina Media. Hopefully you do make up those points. Martial or Bruno captain? I favor Martial a little bit. I think he was looking a lot more lively than Bruno was, so that would probably be who I go for. Jesus, Sterling, or Pulisic? I would go for Sterling. I think Sterling is 100% the best captaincy option this week. I still have Lundstrom. Do you think it's worth playing him? Sheffield United play against Leicester, so probably not. I think that Leicester might have a better chance than other teams of scoring against them. I know I just took out Vardy, so that's probably a little bit of a contradiction, but I don't know if I would be starting Lundstrom. Wes Morgan to replace Jack Robinson. That could be an option. Apparently, Wes Morgan's going to come in for Sionku, so that could be a nice option to go for. Captain option, Jesus, Sterling, or Pulisic. Sterling, Harold, that's who I would go for. Ings, Vardy, or Giroud. Giroud. Greenwood or Jimenez, and Taylor and Saiz, help me. I would go for Greenwood, and I would go for Saiz. Best two strikers on Friet. The Friet I said, yeah, I think Jesus and Vardy, but you could go for, if you don't want double defense, you could go for Giroud. Giroud's starting, so that could be something to go for. Is Barkley playing? Can someone help me out here? I can't remember if Barkley's playing. I don't know. I'm sure someone in chat will answer for me here. Loftus-Cheek is playing. That's who I remember. James Justin, maybe. I just don't trust that Leicester defense at the moment. I think there's better options elsewhere. Who to captain? Pulisic, Jesus, or Foden? I think Pulisic because it's basically guaranteed that he's going to start tonight. We do have 1 minute left for the deadline, so I'm going to be sticking with Salah for the captaincy this game week. I'm tempted by Jesus, but I just don't know if I can captain a player. I don't know who's going to start. I mean, I hope Salah starts this game week. Otherwise, it'll be quite bad. But I think we're going to go for kind of some standard safe plays. Oh, yeah, Barkley's benched there, so if you started him... so some people are saying Barkley bench, some are saying he started, but FPL Rockstar tweeted, so you can go check his tweet. But I think it is time, guys, unfortunately. It is 1:15. As Contented said there, and time gone. It is unfortunately the deadline has finished. So this was the team that we stuck with, went with the Salah captain. Relatively happy. It's going to be yet to be seen what we do this game week. Was tempted by Jesus, but I just think after the predicament of the Man City lineup and me having 3 of their players, I think I'll just go for Salah in this case. Hopefully it's going to be a good game week for you guys. I know there's going to be a lot of different captains to be played. Aurier is going to be interesting to see what happens with him. Obviously there's no pressure on him to play, so probably Saiz will be coming in. But otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoy this live stream. Sorry today was a little bit confusing with the video released quite late, and then the stream only being announced relatively soon to the deadline. But, I mean, it was one of those days kind of with the load shedding and not having internet. But this is basically going to wrap up the stream, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and hopefully Game Week 36 Plus is absolutely sensational for you guys. Thanks Glenn Alexander for stopping by there and for the kind words. And hopefully all you guys get massive green arrows, and we're sitting here before Game Week 37 with maybe a 2-digit rank. Maybe we 10th in the world or something. But no, I'm just joking. But in all seriousness, hopefully you guys stay safe this week, and it's a good green arrow and a good game week for you guys overall. I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.